Germany is not just one of the most highly developed European states, it is also an amazing country with a 1,000-year history where great artists lived and worked. This is a country of majestic nature and healing climate, which is why health tourism is so widespread here. Germany annually attracts millions of tourists from all over the world with its magnificent landscapes, historical sites, and incomparably delicious national cuisine. Don't know what to see in Germany? Let's check out 10 best places to visit in Germany. Number 10. Neuschwanstein Castle. When you first look at the facade of Neuschwanstein Castle from afar, there is a strong association of this amazingly beautiful structure with a toy. This beauty of neat ivory-colored turrets topped with pointed emerald domes seems so improbable. The incredibly beautiful natural background in the form of alpine slopes immersed in green forests adds even more fabulousness. This stunning landmark of Germany appeared on the initiative of the Bavarian King Ludwig II, who embodied his fantastic ideas and romantic plans in the castle. The first stone was laid in the foundation of the future castle in 1869. The initially established 3-year construction period was postponed more than once. Significant difficulties were created by the labor intensity of the project, the location of the site in the mountains, as well as the constant adjustments made to the project by the monarch himself. Number 9. Black Forest. In the south of the country, in the Black Forest region, there is a truly fabulous attraction of Germany, the Black Forest, which evokes memories of characters from the famous fairy tales of the Brothers Grimm. The forest area is mostly made up of dense and tall spruce trees, which is where the name of the forest comes from. Black ... in the shadow of a dense forest. Streams ring, rivers flow, and entire waterfalls rustle. The sources of the Danube River, which flows through a number of European countries, originate in this forest. Deep lakes, old huge spruce trees, boulders covered with moss, everything here seems to keep its own special fairy tale secrets. Thus, the Black Forest waterfalls are considered the highest in the country, and whole streams of tourists flock to some of them. Today, the Black Forest is still not as dense as it used to be. Ski resorts are equipped here, recreation areas are equipped, and even an entire amusement park operates. The lakes of the Black Forest have crystal clear water, and numerous divers flock here for spearfishing. The deep lakes of Schlucksee and Titisee are especially popular. No less popular are motorboat rides on the mirror-like surface of the lake. Local residents, as well as visiting guests, often go on mountain hikes here. Such walks are worth the decision. Climbing up along numerous well-trodden paths, you can fully enjoy the local landscapes, and at a certain height, you will see an unusually picturesque view of the surrounding area. Number 8. Zugspitze. In the Bavarian Alps, at the junction of the borders of Germany and Austria, there is an interesting landmark of Germany and a unique place. This place is interesting because it offers a view of the territory of the 4 closest states: Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and Italy. This is the Zugspitze Peak, whose height is 2,962 kilometers. Conquering this peak will not be difficult for tourists today because railway tracks have been laid to it from the city of Garmisch-Partenkirchen. And for extreme sports enthusiasts, there is also a cable car. However, it starts from the Austrian side. The settlements closest to the peak cater to tourist groups that come here from all over the world. Lovers of snowboarding and alpine skiing especially flock here because the conditions here are ideal. More than 300 days a year, the snow does not melt on the ski slopes, but people flock here not only for active entertainment. The surrounding area of the peak simply amazes with its impressive beauty. The surrounding forests, valleys, mountain lakes, all this creates a surrounding landscape of extraordinary beauty. The forests here are predominantly pine, with spruce, larch, fir, and honeysuckle being a little less common. And the local fauna is under the vigilant protection of the state. Local national reserves are home to the white hare, marten, marmot, and chamois. Birds include golden eagles, alpine jackdaws, and partridges. Number 7. Island of Rügen. Probably everyone is familiar with the fairy tale about Tsar Sultan, when the imagination painted a plot about the Swan Princess, ships sailing past Beyond Island. Did you know that this fabulous island actually exists? And that you can visit this place in Germany by going to the very north of the country. The real name of this island is Rügen, and it is located in the Baltic Sea off the northern coast of Germany. The Slavs believed that this place was magical because it was on the island of Beyond. According to legend, that Koschev's death was hidden in an old oak tree in a chest, and here, According to popular rumor, the treasured Alater stone was kept. It was believed that whoever found this stone would have all the best dreams come true. Cherished dreams. The island of Rügen has been particularly popular for several centuries. Famous personalities and powers that have been on this island at different times: Albert Einstein, Otto von Bismarck, artist Caspar David, who immortalized the coastline of the island in his works. The climate of the island is mild, although quite cool, but despite this, it is easily tolerated. In addition, the weather on the island is characterized by a large number of sunny days a year. That is why doctors recommend coming here to improve your health, especially for allergy sufferers and people suffering from diseases of the joints and respiratory tract. In addition to wellness, everyone will find something to their liking here. Fans of active recreation will enjoy hiking and cycling along marked routes. You can play golf, horse riding, and beach sports. Fans of water activities can go windsurfing and sailing along the coastline, which stretches here for more than 600 kilometers. And fishermen can expect an excellent catch here. Number 6. Royal Lake Königssee. If the question arises about what to see in Germany from natural attractions, then perhaps the first thing worth seeing is the extraordinary beauty of Lake Königssee, located in the southeastern part of the country. It is not for nothing that the lake is one of the most beautiful natural sights in Germany. It is formed from meltwater as a result of the melting of glaciers that covered our planet during the last ice age, making it also the cleanest lake in Europe. The area where the lake is located belongs to the Berchtesgaden National Park. The amazing beauty of the surrounding nature, the magnificence of the mountain peaks framing the lake, crystal clear water, rare plants and wild animals, the views of this lake are truly mesmerizing. The lake itself has an elongated shape, covers an area of about 5 square kilometers, reaches a depth of 190 meters, and the total length of the coastline is about 20 kilometers. Nearby, you can also see the Royal Hunting Castle and roe deer walking nearby. In the northern part of the lake, there is an island with a picturesque grotto and an organized bobsleigh and luge track. Number 5. Island of Flowers, Mainau. In the south of Germany, near the city of Constance, there is an amazingly beautiful place as if straight out of a fairy tale illustration. This is one of the most beautiful and romantic attractions in Germany. The Island of Flowers, Mainau, which is a botanical garden with an area of 0.44 kilometers. The history of this garden began in 1853 when King Frederick I made the island his residence. And it was thanks to the work of his court gardeners, who looked after these territories for 42 years, that the foundation of the future botanical garden was laid, with its gardens, alleys, and magnificent collections of plants. After the death of the king, the island became the property of Duke Frederick I of Baden, who began to improve these territories, turning them into a botanical garden. Thanks to his work, an arboretum and rose garden were created. Later, with the settlement of the heir to the Swedish throne, Leonard Bernadotte, on the island, Mainau turned into a real attraction. After all, Bernadotte was personally involved in the selection of different varieties of plants and the design of the garden itself. Number 4. Hohenzollern Castle. The amazingly beautiful Hohenzollern Castle, located in the Baden-Württemberg region, 50 kilometers south of Stuttgart, is often called the Castle in the Clouds. An unusually beautiful structure rises on the top of a mountain, surrounded by fog and low clouds, and therefore it looks more like a vision from a fairy tale than a real structure. It is not for nothing that Hohenzollern is considered one of the most beautiful sites in Germany. Since the 11th century, the castle served as the residence of the Royal Hohenzollern dynasty, which ruled Prussia during the Middle Ages. The castle building was restored several times, and the castle acquired its final appearance in the mid-19th century. Today, tourists can stroll around the surrounding area and take excursions in the castle premises. Inside, visitors will get acquainted with the history of the state in general and the history of the activities of the Hohenzollerns in particular. You'll gain insight into the castle's rich past as you wander through rooms furnished with period furniture, tapestries, and artwork. As you approach the castle, you will see it long before you arrive at the site. Numerous visitors, of whom there are up to 300,000 a year, highly appreciate the beauty and rich historical past of the castle. Number 3. Europa-Park. The status of the best attraction in Germany for children should perhaps be assigned to the country's largest amusement park. the second most visited after Disneyland Paris. This is Europa-Park in the city of Rust. Its uniqueness lies in the fact that it represents the national features and flavor of 13 European countries. On an area of 60 hectares, there are about 100 of the most amazing attractions. For example, in the Russian zone, the main trump card is a roller coaster and an idyllic picture of a Russian village. In the Italian zone, there is a Venetian carnival and Baroque palaces. In the French zone, there is a Eurosat attraction that takes you into the night world of Paris. In Spanish, heroic battles of knights and flamenco dancing. In addition to the 13 states, there are 3 thematic zones: the land of the Vikings, the kingdom of the Minimoys, and the enchanted forest. Number 2, Heidelberg Castle. Among the most valuable objects of medieval architecture is Heidelberg Castle, located on the slope of Mount Neuschwanstein. It was erected at the beginning of the 14th century as the residence of the rulers of the Kurpfalz. On a hill, and to this day, like a mirage of the past, hovers over modern city buildings. Difficult events of centuries-old history did not allow the architect's original plan to be completely preserved. But even the dilapidated and ivy-covered walls of the castle today retain a special, mysterious atmosphere. Among the castle buildings, it is worth paying attention to several structures. One of the oldest buildings, Ruprechtbau, the first palace of Friedrichsbau Castle, the Garden of Eden, which was supposed to be a copy of the Garden of Eden, as well as the basement where the world's largest wine barrel is stored. Number 1, Berchtesgaden National Park. Studying the sites of Germany on the map, you can see that the Berchtesgaden National Park lies in the German part of the Alps. This is the only protected area in the country, located in the mountains. But its beauty compensates for dozens of other natural sights. Mirrored turquoise lakes, alpine meadows, forested slopes, steep cliffs against the backdrop of a bottomless blue sky. All the most beautiful things on Earth are collected in these lands. On an area of more than 200 square kilometers, you can not only walk and admire the views, but also visit some interesting sites. For example, the deepest high-altitude lake Königssee in the Alps, Mount Jenner with beautiful views of the valleys, and the mysterious Berchtesgaden salt mine. There is an extensive network of hiking trails throughout the reserve, passing through the most beautiful places in the park.